Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 11 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. The Spokane River is rising as mountain snow begins to melt, and that means more garbage and litter along the banks is getting swept into the river. The Spokane River Keeper says that pollution can have a serious impact, especially on wildlife. New at 11 tonight, he told KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk what's being done.
Well, last year, volunteers removed 13 tons of trash. It's really become an uphill battle, though. Riverkeeper Jerry White Jr. has seen more and more homeless camps along the bank. He says poverty has an impact on the river's health. This time of year, the Spokane River is an impressive sight. Right now, 105,000 gallons of water is running by every second.
It is quite dangerous. If you get up on the sides of the river, you can be swept into the trees. And the river is very, very cold right now.
Spokane Riverkeeper Jerry White Jr. says the river is also running high right now, creeping up the banks, which are home to wildlife and people.
We've watched kind of a social tragedy unfolding, but it's also a pretty serious impact on the river.
More and more homeless camps are dotting the banks between TJ Minack and Feltz Field.
Poverty has an impact. We see these camps with no garbage service along the edge of the river, and when we have these flows come up like this into where people have been living, garbage and other housing items get washed right in the river, and then they're garbage, they're pollution.
White has found toxic materials like chemicals, paint cans, and excessive amounts of plastic,
which breaks down into microplastic. And then it gets ingested by all of the wildlife.
The cleanup never stops.
We picked up 26,000 pounds of litter just last year with over 1,000 volunteers. We are certainly watching the rise of people in poverty and people living along the banks of our river in our city, just as we're watching across the West Coast.
The camps pose a problem with no easy solution. When conditions are safe, White likes to put service providers in boats.
We'll go ashore, folks from SNAP will get out, offer services, inquire as to whether services are needed. They'll get back on the boat, and then we go down to the next camp.
The Spokane River is an urban river. White says you can't put the blame squarely on homeless camps.
Everything finds its way to the river, and so we will find all kinds of litter that's not attributed to homelessness.
And the Spokane Riverkeeper is always looking for volunteers to come out for a few hours on the weekends to clean up the banks. We have a link with more information online. In the newsroom, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
Now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. Another major road project will cause trouble for drivers who use Highway 195 in Spokane South Hills. Starting tomorrow, the city is closing the Hatch Road Bridge for at least 4 months to replace the bridge deck. Drivers will not be able to use Hatch Road from 195, and they'll need to take another route from High Drive and 57th Avenue. They'll also be adding a right-hand turn lane to address traffic delays on the road.
It's about a 30 to 40 minute difference. So for a kid that's 5 years old in kindergarten, that's a big deal when it comes to them already being tired as it is in kindergarten.
And because Hatch Road Bridge likely will not reopen until at least August, the Spokane Public School District said about 18 routes to 5 different schools will have to be changed. Those schools are Lewis and Clark High School, Sacagawea Middle School, Roosevelt and Mullen Road Elementary Schools, as well as the Libby Center. Coming up in about 5 minutes, we will share what the district says the bus routes will look like now going forward.
It's like, oh wow, it was supposed to be like a 30-second quick little drive over here, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna hang out in traffic for a couple minutes, and definitely a little hectic. It reminded me of Seattle, like that kind of level of traffic.
Today is also the first day of road construction on the Thor and Freya. Phase 1 of the 7-phase project closed the Thor Freya eastbound exit ramp. That ramp will stay closed through mid-June. Over the next 8 months, crews will be resurfacing Thor and Freya with concrete, which will hold up better than asphalt in the long run. Today, Freya was down to 1 lane, causing slow traffic from 3rd Avenue all the way back to Hartson. Drivers will eventually see the Thor Freya westbound exit close and Thor and Freya operating as two-way streets to allow for crews to work on each road. Construction at the historic McKinley School in the Sprague Union District could finally start this year. Renovations to the building have been at a standstill for about 6 years. Spokane City Council is set to approve a 12-year multifamily housing property tax exemption for the property. This is a tool the city uses to attract developers to build more housing units in Spokane. According to the city, the McKinley Apartments will include 22 units in 4 buildings. Under the 12-year tax exemption agreement, 20% of the units must be set aside for affordable units, which are made available to low and moderate income tenants. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word night to 509-448-2000 and we'll send them directly to your phone. New tonight, Catholic Charities announced they will be opening a new affordable housing community in Spokane. The new housing community, named Gonzaga Family Haven, will help house 73 families. The affordable housing will also provide families with on-site social services for adults, teenagers, and children. Some amenities in that housing facility include a child care facility, a health clinic, a computer lab, an indoor recreation space, a splash pad, a dog park, and a community garden as well. Turning to your international news tonight, after more than a month since Russia invaded Ukraine, the two nations restarting peace talks aimed at a ceasefire. These talks are scheduled for tomorrow morning and will last for 3 days in Istanbul. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says his country would consider a neutrality agreement. Ukrainian intelligence officials believe that Moscow's new goal is to split their nation into two. Meantime, President Joe Biden standing by a comment that he made on Saturday that Vladimir Putin, quote, cannot remain in power. The UN says nearly 4 million people have fled Ukraine since the war began. Florida's governor has signed a controversial bill that forbids instruction on sexual orientation and gender identity in kindergarten through 3rd grade. The bill is dubbed by critics as the Don't Say Gay bill. Those who oppose the law say it marginalizes LGBTQ people. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said the measure is reasonable and it should be up to parents, not teachers, to bring up the topics with their children. Last week, a 14-year-old boy fell to his death off an Orlando freefall amusement park ride, and today Dollywood closed a similar ride, the Drop Line, following the teen's death in Florida. Drop Line is made by Fun Time, the same company that made that ride in Florida, according to park officials. Meanwhile, at least 3 people have been killed after a massive pileup on Interstate 81 in Pennsylvania. The pileup came amidst a snow squall there. Take a look at that. Pennsylvania State Police say 50 to 60 vehicles, including tractor trailers, were involved. Several cars also caught fire in that crash. All right, let's talk weather here locally now. It was an opposite scene here in the inland Northwest. Warm temperatures and sunshine today. Let's get outside to meteorologist Jeremy Legoo. Jeremy, still about 51 degrees at this hour. I'm loving the warm weather. I just want to know if it's sticking around for the rest of the week.
You know, it is. We do cool down just a little bit, but for the most part, it's these mild spring temperatures each and every day. Now, 51 at 11 o'clock at night, that's just downright warm. And we're pretty warm across much of the inland Northwest. 53 in Coeur d'Alene, 41 for Sandpoint as your cold spot, and you're in the low 50s out in central Washington. We are clearing out, and as that happens, we're going to continue to see some more clearing overnight, and eventually sunny skies tomorrow is shaping up to be my favorite day of the entire week. Eventually, we're going to get a little more cloud cover, a little wind, even the possibility of a shower on Wednesday. So when it comes to Tuesday, enjoy it. Here's how it plays out. By the time we hit noon, we're already in the mid-50s under sunny skies, and by the afternoon, we top out in the low 60s with nothing but sunshine.
Sounds good, Jeremy. Thank you very much. Well, pickleball is the fastest growing sport in America. Now it's the official state sport of Washington. Governor Jay Inslee signed the bill earlier today, making pickleball the official state sport.
We know that pickleball is a great sport for all ages. Thanks, Senator Lovick. I am signing this bill, and everybody play away.
It combines tennis and ping pong. It is played with a paddle and a hard wiffle ball on a small tennis court. The governor was in Bainbridge Island for the bill signing today, where pickleball was invented back in the 1960s. Today, tulip workers in Skagit County back on the job. They walked off the job at Rosengard last week, demanding better pay, among other things. But Saturday night, they announced they will pause their strike to meet with management. The Washington Bulb Company says it is doing everything it can to meet the workers' needs. All right, don't go to bed just yet. We will share new changes to the Spokane Public Schools bus routes ahead of tomorrow's closure of the Hatch Road Bridge. Plus, later in the broadcast, the WSU men's basketball team playing in Madison Square Garden. What you need to know before the big game tomorrow. We are back in just 90 seconds.